the first thing I want you to do is basically the Instagram cleanse is removing or blocking followers. What? Why, Tara, why would I do that? Like, I finally reached 1,000. Come on. Or I finally reached 100. Here's why, or here's the theory behind it. If they're not a potential customer of yours, meaning that they're a lash artist that's on the other side of the country or the continent or the world, or they're a dude, or they're a bunch of tweezer manufacturers or lash brands or other lash artists, or just people that are never going to be customers of yours, or that you're their target market, then they're not helping you actually to reach the people that actually want to buy from you, or who follow you because they're actually considering getting eyelash extensions from you. So that means some of you who have like 1,500, 2,000, 8,000 followers, and you own a solo brick and mortar lash business, you'll likely have a lot of clicking ahead in your future. You want to eliminate anybody and everybody from your following who follow you if they're never going to become a customer of yours. So this is where you got to get real nitty gritty, and you got to understand that we're not using social media for personal use anymore, where it can feel good, or it doesn't really matter how many followers you have. We actually want, as a business, to get our marketing in front of people. And all of these followers, whether they're fake followers, tweezer manufacturers, lash artists, are getting in the way of you actually reaching people who would consider or want to become a customer of yours. So I don't care about popularity. I don't care about numbers, and I hope you don't either. I hope you focus on, if you went from 1,000 followers to 100 followers because you've done this cleanse, then you now have 100 potential clients that your posts are now more likely to show up in, rather than this number of, ooh, I have 1,000 people, but most of them are never going to buy from me. What purpose does that serve? It wastes your time. It really does, because you'll spend all the time like coming up with your social media posts and editing your photos and writing the right captions and tagging the right hashtags, and then nobody sees your posts. The only people who like it are other like industry professionals, or a hairstylist that lives down the way, and tweezer manufacturers and lash brands. That does nothing to grow your business. And then you guys all DM me saying like, social media doesn't work. Well, I can tell you why it doesn't work. If I go into your follower count and I see within the first like 1 or 2 scrolls at least 3 other industry account or industry pros or users, whether it says lash or hair or makeup, I know you are not targeting the right followers. So that's why your social media isn't working. So for clarification, it doesn't matter who you follow. You can follow whoever. I recommend only following accounts that inspire you and make you feel good. There's no point in being on social media, being all jealous and comparisonitis land. It's just a waste of energy and time looking at what everybody else is doing, feeling like you have to do it. If you've got some removing followers ahead of you, you've got some time that you got to dedicate to that. So let's not end up in like endless scrolling. So you can follow whoever. That's their algorithm. That doesn't matter. For your business, it's who follows you. Your account's followers. So I want to make that distinction. So how the algorithm works is it will send out, like you go ahead and you post to your Instagram feed. It sends that post out to a test section of your followers. And that will tell the algorithm, this is pretty valuable, this is not pretty valuable, based on engagement. If it tests that, okay, there was a decent amount of people who engaged with this post, we're going to send it out to another test section of your audience. And so that process continues to happen. So the more valuable your post is, the more people in your follower count that will see it. It will show up in their feeds. Because again, if you haven't listened to episode 2, it's really valuable. I suggest going back to listen to it. But it is that Instagram, the purpose of Instagram is to get you to stay on the app the longest so it can expose you to more ads. And engagement is how they track how long people are staying on the app. Because if somebody's going to stop on the app to read, then it's increasing their time and they're increasing their exposure to ads. And then Facebook or Instagram can charge more to advertisers because they have a bigger audience of engaged people. So that is how the algorithm works as far as testing out percentages of your followers. Conversely, if it sends it out to a test section of your audience and they don't engage, then it's not going to continue to send it out into more and more feeds, because those test followers have already triggered the algorithm, which is, basically a computer process, like a set of formulas that says A or B. B being don't send it out to more feeds, A being yes, this was good, send it out to more feeds. So it's not going to keep sending it out if people are not engaging with it. So if you're not using any captions, if you're not using any hashtags, if you're not engaging with your audience, if you're not responding back to comments, if all you have is just like a butterfly emoji and a picture of a close-up eye shot, yeah, no wonder you're not getting engagement. What am I supposed to engage with? Like follow back with a caterpillar emoji? I mean, what am I as a customer supposed to engage with when all you put is emoji or hashtags? A question that I also get is, what about other lash artists who follow me and they do engage? Because I know that there are those lash besties out there who follow you and they engage fairly regularly. But the thing for me is when it comes to even friends that follow you that are never going to become customers, or other lash artists that, you know, y'all are engaging with each other, it's great for community, to each their own, but how are you supposed to have accurate data on what content you post, what posts connect with somebody who wants to become an actual customer, if it's getting muddied down or watered down because other lash artists are just engaging with you on everything, right? It doesn't matter what you post. They're only engaging with you because they already have that relationship built with you. When your social media marketing is meant to create the relationship with a potential customer. And in order to do that, you have to know what they want to hear from you, whether they want to see before and after shots, whether they want to know about like your personal life or, you know, your story, or if they want to know about inspirational quotes or community or your passions and your hobbies. I mean, we don't know what they want if we can't get that data. And getting data on posts when you have a targeted following is what helps you know what to post and what your audience wants to see. So if you message me or you are asking me, Tara, how do I know what my audience wants to post? Well, first you have to start off with the audience itself. If you want to know what potential customers want from you, you can't experiment with that until you have the right audience. If you have the wrong audience, you're not going to get the right data. You're going to keep posting these close-up eye shots because that's what lash artists are drawn to, not potential customers. And you're going to be led to think that I should keep posting this because it's getting more engagement. And I'm being told by Tara I should prioritize engagement. And this is what my audience is engaging. But you have the wrong audience. So that's usually what happens when you have low engagement or you have engagement but no customers off of social media. You either have the wrong audience built, so the wrong followers, or they don't value your posts. But you can't know what value they have on what they want to see from you until you have the right audience. That is why I prioritize the Instagram cleanse for anybody who's starting a business, because it is different in how we approach running a business and utilizing social media marketing than it is how we use it for personal use. So how do you remove or block followers from Instagram? And y'all are gonna get those of you that have worked so hard to reach a certain number, you are gonna resist this, and I welcome the challenge. I encourage you to DM me and go, well, I don't know, Tara, like I've already taken off 200 followers and I'm not seeing a difference, because you'll likely have another 200 or 300 followers on there that still are the wrong audience. We've had so much success with members going through and being brutal about eliminating followers. We've had people go from like 800 or 900 down to 200. And they said, I am now getting more engagement and more interaction from people that I didn't even know followed me, like people I don't know that are potential customers, and they're getting DMs. So there is a method to my madness. So if you go to your profile page on your app for Instagram, if you click on your number of followers, so it says like the number of posts you have, the number of followers, and the number of people you follow. Go to your followers, tap on that number. On the right-hand side of your follower list, you'll see 3 little dots. If you tap on that, you should have the option to remove that follower from your following, or from that follower from your follower account, if that makes sense. If you don't, then you likely have to go in and block that account. So you have to go into their profile, then select the options of the 3 little dots and then block them. So the difference between removing them as a follower and blocking them as a follower, if you block them, you won't even come up when they search for you. So your account would essentially not exist in their app. Some people think that's harsh. What difference does it make? If they're not the right type of follower for you, why would they want to go see your account? And if they are your friend or something like that and then get really butthurt about you blocking them, maybe they should pick up the phone and call you. I don't know. But anyways, I wouldn't worry about people blocking. They don't know that you've blocked them. They just, if they ever think to search for you, you won't pop up. So Just so you know, that's the difference between removing and blocking. Removing, they can still follow you, or not follow you, they can still see that your account exists and they can follow you again. I recommend for any tweezer manufacturers or anybody from Qingdao, China or Pakistan, those are where most manufacturers I find are really spammy come from, just block them. Just so you don't have to keep dealing with them. They're just spammy, they're just sleazy. Even if you wanna get into, like having your own product line, you don't want those types, trust me. You wanna actually go do your research on who you want as a manufacturer rather than somebody just sliding into your DMs. Sliding into your DMs. So once you've cleansed your followers to actual potential customers, you will start to notice an increase in engagement and more traffic to your website and views on your stories and all the good things that we want to come from social media, because now we have a targeted audience. And just as a clarification again, Instagram organic reach right now is the best on social media, and it's 1 to 3%, which means that's just reach. It's not necessarily engagement, but that means if you have 100 followers, then anywhere from 1 to 3 people on average would see your post. So it actually gets lower the more followers you have. We have 30,000 followers on our post. Our reach is way less than 1% because we have such a large following. So the more followers you have, it actually can work against you. It's great if you have a bunch of followers that are your right audience. We're pretty good about targeting our audience, and we go through our feed multiple times, or our account multiple times a day, and block any new followers that are not our target audience. So we have a pretty targeted audience, and still we're under 1% just because that's how the algorithm works. But if you have a lower following, it actually works better for you because you can start to get like that 3 to 5 to 10% engagement. Or 3 to 5% reach. Anyways, so this is how you utilize social media in marketing for your business so that you can actually get a return on the time and energy it takes to post things. If you have a lot of lash artists that follow you, this is working against you, unless lash artists are your audience. That's what I have to say on that. Go do your cleanse. Let me know how it works for you at the Lashpreneur on Instagram, and I will see you guys next week. Have a good one.